I mean, if you think about it, is a crazy statistic to just that like a lot of people wouldn't know. Like you can do something by yourself naturally with your breathing and with your mind for just 10 minutes a day. And it can be as effective as a prescription that they hand out.
Oh, baby, we are live, boys. I think this is so crazy that like less than a week ago, we had the idea that we should start a podcast, and here we are already on our first one. So people, welcome to Happily Discontent, where we share some things, some mindsets, some practices, and, just a little bit about what we're doing to better your today and tomorrow. So Happily Discontent, it's kind of an obscure passage. To me, it sounds like a bit of an oxymoron. So Jay, I know this is something that you kind of live your life by. So I'm going to give you the floor to break it down, this weird pair of words, happily discontent, and what that means to you.
Yeah, it's basically just living your entire life being happy with where you are today, but also not content and still striving for a better tomorrow. It really setting yourself up for the best tomorrow, the best following week, the best following month, the best following year, and hence the best rest of your life, and really not waiting until you're at that next point before you can be happy and being miserable of, oh shit, like I'll be happy once I have a house, or I'll be happy once I have that nice car. Really just being happy with where you are right now, but also still striving to go, if that's what's important to you, still striving to go get that nice house, like striving for that car, and really just always pushing yourself forward.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, because you're totally right. There's these kind of two camps of people, right? You've got those super workaholic grinders that are always striving for more, right? Like that next promotion, that next car, that next house. But in that pursuit, they kind of lose sight of where they are now. They fail to take the time to create happiness right now. And then you've got this other camp of people, and that's all they do. They live in the moment. They're happy right now, but they aren't considering the future and investing in their future happiness as well as their happiness today. And I think that's essentially what Happily Discontent is it investing in the happiness of yourself today and tomorrow. And so I absolutely love that. And that's kind of Nick, I'll let you explain why that's the name of the podcast, why that applies to our business.
Well, I mean, I think it applies perfectly to our business. Like in terms of living a happier today, there's so many great ways that I never knew about when I was growing up, and there was just misinformed. There was no education around it. And when I started this company, I got a lot more into natural wellness and all these healthy activities like meditation and breath work. And now scary subject. I know we'll dive into that a lot deeper on further podcasts. But that's a lot of what we do today. So we have our natural products, our CBD products, and then we preach these mindsets. We educate on all these different things you can be doing to live a happy today. And the best part is that these aren't happy and healthy lives today. And the best part is these aren't, some crazy things that are super hard for everyone to do, or it's going to take you 5 hours a day. Like these are things you can do in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, in 1 minute. And all these little things, they combined. And for me, it has really helped me have a happy today every day. And I've seen a lot of people, and it helps all of them as well too. So that's sort of how we focus on helping today, is by shedding some light on these wellness education tips and these natural wellness that have been so stigmatized and so hidden for so long that just no one knows about.
Just little hacks, little things you can do, little mindset shifts, little routines that you can implement to just really invest in your happiness and your health, right? And I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say that they're easy, but they're easy on a one-day scale, but doing it over time, I think, is where it becomes difficult. So we also have some things there on how to, keep
tiny habits. Tiny habits is the first thing I thought of when you were saying that.
Exactly. Picking up good habits, dropping bad habits. So we're getting way too ahead of ourselves. That's, a few podcasts down the line. So you touched on the happiness today. How do we help people, also invest in their happiness tomorrow down the line? Or how do we invest in happiness overall?
So on the tomorrow scale, it's really now where the movement part of our business comes in. So we really have a movement towards better business, I say, would be the two words that just encapsulate everything we're trying to do here. So that's a lot about pushing other businesses to do better. And some of the ways we do that is we make sure that like we focus on the sustainability. You know, I don't like using buzzwords, but it is an encapsulating word.
So what do you mean by sustainability?
So if you know anything about the circular economy, it's that materials don't go to waste, but they get reused. So our materials are repurposed. So it came from somewhere else, and then we keep them in the circular economy because they get recycled and they can be reused again. Okay. So the waste isn't there, you know, but that's only one aspect. We donate to some great charities, you know, that feed the hungry, that clean the beaches, that support mental health services, all these great things. And it's these types of things that businesses can really be doing more of, you know, and that will help our tomorrow, because as businesses invest more in impact, our world will be better. And as the world thrives, everybody on the world can start doing better. So that's sort of how we help people tomorrow, is by trying to inspire other businesses that there's a lot more to business than the just profits. You got to consider people, you got to consider the planet.
That triple bottom line, baby.
Triple bottom line, baby. Because at the end of the day, the better that the planet's doing and the better that people are doing, that's all that matters.
Like, man, imagine this. Imagine if we could get to businesses to start to compete, not only on the dimension of profit and how much money you rake in each year, but how much impact you make, how many people you feed, how much carbon you can offset. If businesses start to compete with each other, wow. We're still rookies on the podcast here. If businesses start to compete with each other on those dimensions, and really like who can do more, who can do better, who can make the world a better place, imagine what that will do. Because
how much better tomorrow would be, how much better 3 months from now would be, how much better 10 years from now would
I think that would just overall raise the entire energy level of the world, just up a few voltage points. You know what I mean? Everybody would just be a little bit happier because, you know, there's not as much hunger, there's not as much pollution, there's not as much of these things that really just drain us. There's not as much of that in the world. It's going to raise the overall energy level. So I totally agree, but I'm going to rewind a little bit, because you mentioned natural products and things as CBD and some things that we do to help people be better today. And Jay, you're kind of Mr. CBD. You're the one that got me involved with this, and Nick as well. So why don't you explain a little bit about CBD and our products specifically, so that people are a little bit more in the loop about what we're talking about?
Yeah, so kind of CBD, as you mentioned, is a buzzword. Everyone's kind of hearing about CBD right now, and hearing about CBD as kind of this cure-all or silver bullet that's going to kind of solve all your problems. And sure, yeah, like it is this amazing, miraculous compound that has tremendous benefits for the human body and for just
the mind, the body,
the body, and the soul. And it's fascinating how much potential it has so far, and how we've been able to find it's helped with seizures and anxiety and depression and pain and sleep and all these different things. And what we do is take CBD and combine it with some other ingredients that have also had that history of working for sleep or for immunity or anxiety or things like that, and combining them to have them complement each other, rather than trying to take all these different pills or trying to eat all this perfect diet just so you can get the right nutrients to fix this problem. We're combining them into one unique little gummy.
Convenient little gummy.
We're combining all these amazing, powerful ingredients into this powerful little gummy that tastes amazing and has nothing artificial. It's like totally healthy for you. It tastes fucking so good. And
health and happiness comes the tastiest part of your day.
It comes in a package that you can feel good about, and it that you can put in your recycling. It's going to be reused. It comes from plastic that's been reused. There's some pretty cool stories behind the plastic that's been cleaned up from the beach, pulled out of the ocean, and then turned into the packaging. And you can feel good. Like, from every cycle of buying the product, you feel good. You feel good when you come to the site because you see us having so much fun and doing what we love to do. And then you feel good when you buy the product, because when you buy the product, you're also making an impact. You're planting trees. You're helping feed people that are hungry. You're helping get people into mental health facilities. You're helping clean up the ocean. And
it's really incredible. I do want to rewind a little bit back to, I like that you mentioned CBD as a silver bullet. I like to describe it as a one-man band, right? So anybody who's ever seen a one-man band, the guy's playing all these instruments, he does all these things, but he's likely not good at any one in specific, right? And that's how I look at CBD. It's this general wellness product that does a lot of things. Like you said, it helps with epilepsy and anxiety and pain relief, and even things as rare as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Very wide range of things that it helps with, but it's not particularly excellent in any one area. So combining it with some of those other natural ingredients that can make it a little bit better at specific things, specialized CBD is what we like to call it. I think it can really go a long way. So why don't you tell me quickly, why did you get involved in this? Obviously, it's a very incredible product that I think can do a lot of good, but why? What's going to keep you working on it? After some trouble in your life, you get a bad sleep and you don't want to wake up, you want to stay in bed. What is going to keep you working on this product and on this movement?
It's basically been kind of incubating my entire life, and it's my life's mission. It started with my own struggles with anxiety and depression and other mental health problems. And I found a solution that worked for me, and it really inspired me to want to share that solution with other people. Incredible. And kind of just really expand the movement as much as we can. And I've slowly started to learn different practices and different tools that I can use for my wellness and that I can use to make the planet and the people around me better, and really just kind of sharing that with the world and giving people the tools and giving people an outlet to kind of express themselves and giving them the resources they need to make that impact themselves and
to be better today and tomorrow. Ultimately, that's incredible. So you had I know that you had your own struggles with mental health. We've had these conversations before, and walk me through. So CBD is kind of a nascent thing, right? We had the Farm Bill. I guess the Farm Bill is the United States. We had cannabis legalization here in Canada in 2018. So only about 2 years. And I know that this dates back a little bit further than that. So talk to me about James Bennett, 4, 5, 6 years ago when CBD wasn't as available. What did your life look like then? What were the solutions that you went to?
I was a mess, honestly. It was constant anxiety attacks and just not wanting to get out of bed and not wanting to eat and kind of just really not wanting to do anything. And the only solutions that are really presented to you at those stages is a pill. And I kind of fell into this trap where I would go and see a doctor and right away, oh, you think you're feeling depressed? And mind you, I'm this 15, 16-year-old kid. Oh, you think you're feeling depressed? Here's a pill. It'll help. And they don't really fill you in on what else is going to happen. They're sure they give you this little book but what 15-year-old kid is really going to read this book of tiny print before they take a pill that they're told by the doctor, right? So
because you trust the doctor, right?
Exactly. You trust that they know what they're doing. But now I've realized that they don't know really any better. They're taught to prescribe pills their whole life, and that's what they're trained to do, is to treat the symptoms and not actually help with the problem. But kind of just going to doctor, and really the only solution that was given to me was these pills, and the pills they would help with anxiety, and I'd maybe not have an anxiety attack for a little bit, but then they'd cause 3 other problems, and then I'm hearing voices and stuff like that. And it gets really scary that you go back and ask for something else, and then they just blindly give you another pill and see, well, okay, let's see what this one does to you. It's kind of just like being a little guinea pig. And I find that to be broken, and wanted to take that into my own hands to fix it. I found that kind of the other options on the market really didn't help as much as they could as I was hoping they would. So
there was that potential, but
Sorry. You take a pill and it does what it's supposed to do. Obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it causes these 5 other problems and make it even worse. You're trading off something and making it even worse at different things. And these natural medicines, they're not as effective at actually treating that one specific thing really well. Sure, they don't really have the side effects, but they're not as effective. So that's really what we're doing, is kind of taking the effects of those natural medicine and combining them to be powerful and targeted towards specific things, so that you can take it and it'll actually work for that specific thing, and not just kind of touch it pat it on the back. It's actually like a
little tickle.
Yeah, it's actually works to solve the problem.
So just natural medicine is kind of more of a general term. Can you explain to our lovely viewers, shout out to you, by the way, if you're still listening, you are an absolute fucking rock star, giving us a shot on our first podcast. Literally, again, a week ago, we didn't even expect to be sitting here doing this, and you're sitting here listening to us. You're a fucking awesome. Thank you. But we're natural medicine, Jay, break that down a little bit for me, because again, very general term. What kind of things come to mind when you say natural medicine?
It needs to come from the earth. That's what natural
Right.
really means. Like for
Hmm.
example, they don't question the effectiveness of peyote in Peru. They know that it works, and they cherish it, and they celebrate it. So that's
Hmm.
something that really needs to be more common in Western civilization. That this stuff that's been put on this earth is actually super effective, and it's there for us to help us. It's not the devil's lettuce. It's actually like the angels lettuce or the gods lettuce. Really,
Yeah.
it's there to help us. It's not there to hurt us. And sure, there are things on this planet that are not very good for us, but kind of, if there's things that actually do help with what they're with problems that we have, then we need to be using those things and not just trying to make a fake one in a lab. We need to be
Exactly.
using the compounds and the chemical, or we need to be using the stuff that's been put on this earth for us to use, and really putting
Exactly,
it.
man. So like things like nutrition, you know what I mean, and herbal medicine and homeopathy, you know what I mean. Even things like we talked about earlier, like breath work and meditation. Nick, I know you've got some stats up your sleeve here about talk to us about like meditation and the findings that they've had compared to some of those SSRI medications. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I've actually, when I first started doing meditation, I looked into like why none of this was being shared. But just straight to your point, like I've read articles that meditation, I think it was like 10 minutes a day or something like that, was as effective as an SSRI medication.
And so that's a serotonin reuptake.
Yeah.
It's for depression, right?
It's for depression, which I mean, if you think about it, is a crazy statistic to just that like a lot of people wouldn't know. Like you can do something by yourself naturally with your breathing and with your mind for just 10 minutes a day, and it can be as effective as a prescription that they hand out, like Jay said, like without really asking you too many questions or asking, looking into your life. And it's sort of the one size fits all. It's like, oh, okay, you're a little bit depressed, here's the SSRI. Oh, you're a little bit anxious in school today, here's the ADHD medicine. It's always just here's the prescription. Oh, this is what they said, here's the prescription. And it's like, the thing is, being healthy and happy, you really have to know your own body. It's not just, everybody's not the same way. How I feel on meditation is probably different than how you guys feel on meditation, right? You have to know what things work and what things don't work for you. So really getting to know yourself is a big part of the healthy lifestyle as well.
Absolutely, man. It kind of goes back to what Jay, you said, an absolutely lights out line a few minutes ago when you said targeting, like these pills have the tendency to target the symptoms rather than the root cause, right? And that ties in that one size fits all approach. You know what I mean? Because the symptoms are all the same, but the root cause might be different for different people, right? That's why things like meditation are so much more widely effective, is because you can make it like it can target the problem, whatever the problem is for you. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that study that you mentioned, I might have to fact check myself, but that's from like Johns Hopkins University, like a credible university.
It's from a super credible resource.
So it's something that you can trust. And so I think it's just really such a black box. Why do you think that is, man? Why do you think that is? I think there's such a stigma around these natural practices like meditation that
yeah, I think there is such a stigma around it. And you even said the homeopathic and the holistic medicine, like it wasn't, that used to be actually a big part of the of the education system and the medical system back, in the early 1900s. Something came out called the Flexner Report. It changed a lot of that. Again, something we're not going to dive into now.
That's a big one, though, that we're going to dive into later.
On a future
podcast. That's a big one, though.
But I think because that was taken away and there was just no emphasis put on natural wellness, and it was this like, okay, now we have synthetic chemicals. We've came to a revolution. Like now we can fix all problems. If you have go to your doctor, get these problems, and we sort of lost touch with all those things that were being taught before that report came out. And then, you sometimes explain it when you think about meditation. You have like this monk sitting cross-legged on a mountain, and for some reason,
levitating. You forgot levitating.
Levitating.
So just for a little bit on that, I don't know about you guys, but I swear, like at first when I used to picture meditation, I picture this person, sitting cross-legged with the fingers in circles, like on the top of a mountain, levitating. Like that's what you think. You think some like monk shit, right? Like airbender on the forehead kind of thing. Like, and that's so different from what meditation actually is. Like I meditate like fucking while I'm standing in line sometimes, like it's so much different than what it's perceived to be. And so I think on one of these podcasts, Jay, I don't even know if I filled you in on this, but I think on one of these podcasts, we're going to break it down and we're going to come up with a new name for meditation. And we're going to do it live, unscripted. We're going to talk, what does meditation mean to you? And we're going to use that to come up with a whole new definition of meditation. So that's, again, we're previewing all these later podcasts, man. It's really capped by, I wish we could talk about it now, but you awesome viewers, however many of you there are, you freaking just stay tuned. We got some good shit coming. But back to natural wellness, a little bit about what we're doing. How do we bring all these things that we're talking about together, wrap it up in like freaking a paragraph? Jay, go.
Basically, how do we bring natural wellness together, you say?
So how like all these topics that we've been talking about, right? Like you've got happily discontent, striving for more while being better today. You've got this gap between natural medicine and pills, right? Pills kind of doing some work. Pills doing the work but causing problems. Natural wellness not causing problems but not doing the work, right? And the movement, bring it home for me, baby.
It's basically creating products that are actually effective at fixing the problems that you have every day, and kind of tying those products into other tools that you can use to make yourself better and to make those around you even better, and to make the planet around you a better place, and really kind of giving you that outlet that you need to share your input and share what you want to see businesses doing, so that we can use our reach to help get your voice to be heard. And really just, it's called We Are Well, because we're not doing this with just us. It's not I am well. It's not you are well, because we're all in this together. It's a collective movement, and we can't make this impact without you. And we need to all work together to actually make this world a better place. We know we don't need to guilt trip people. We know we don't need to convince you that the world's fucked up right now. Everyone knows that there's things that need to be done, and we need to work together to make those things happen. And that's what We Are Well is. It's working together to make the world a better place and make ourselves healthier and happier at the same time. Wow.
That was freaking incredible summary, man. Incredible summary. And I don't know if I can top it. What I like to think of us as just, bringing together, the best that Mother Nature has to offer, right? Like for the longest time, you've got like all of these natural practices are kind of isolated, right? Like you've got meditation kind of over there on its own, as effective as it is, it's on its own, nutrition over there, and natural ingredients over there, and homeopathy, they're all kind of separated. But like by bringing it together under one umbrella, you kind of just like stack up the benefits of each of them, and like you said, create natural medicine that actually works. And I like that you touched on, We Are Well. Like the name of the company is We Are Well, and you're so right. We were very, very adamant on having the word "we" in the name. So why was that?
Well, I mean, I think Jay had a pretty good summary of it. It's, it can't be one. For We Are Well to be true and for that name to make sense, everybody in the world needs to be well. And that's the overall goal of this company, and the overall goal of what we're doing is to make an impact so that everybody in the world is doing good. And that's going to take a lot. And that's a big move. That's a huge movement, right? But a part of that is not, again, it's not just going to be our company doing this, right? This is also a platform to inspire other companies to do the same and to invest in that impact. So we're hoping that this will cause a chain reaction where other businesses start to see, okay, you know what, impact is important. We should be doing this. And as more and more companies do this, and as more and more companies, like you said, maybe begin to compete on impact levels, we can really make the world somewhere where everybody is well. There is nobody, the worst person in the world should still be doing well. And I think that's really the overarching goal of what we're trying to do here.
Holy fuck, man. You got me ready to run through a brick wall right now. You both just lit a fire under my ass, and I'm ready to go freaking like, let's go grind right now. Sorry, people. We got to go. We got to make this thing happen. We previewed a lot of the future topics that we're going to talk about. We got a lot of shit in store. We got a huge movement on our hands, and we got to get started right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, for the third time, you are a motherfucking rock star. We appreciate you, and we're going to go and we're going to make this business take off for you and every other motherfucking person on this planet. Let's get it.